Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we sift through
The wreckage.
the wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams, and we are live on the Hameen Media Group YouTube channel and also on the Twitch at Hameen Media Group. Vet, what is going on? What a busy week has been in professional wrestling. And what's the haps?
Oh, it's no better way to kick off my weekend than with everybody here at HMG talking about AEW, which is going to mean a lot of WTF, but that's fine. We're used to it. We're going to have some fun today, I think.
I think we will too. But you'll be surprised about a couple of things maybe when it comes to me and AEW this past week. But did you catch Blood Money 15 by any chance, Vet?
I'm sorry, what did I not catch?
Did you catch Blood Money 15 this past, yesterday?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. I do find it funny that people, I find it funny that people like to use that term, blood money, like in reference to, just the fact that Saudi Arabia is hosting a show like any government hands are clean when it comes to money, I do enjoy the sort of like high horse sitting and hypocrisy that people like to throw around, like everybody's innocent except just this country, but that's fine. I caught some of it per se. Let's say it was on during the day at my house, and perhaps I looked at it a few times as I was busy doing other things and whatnot and what have you. And I still haven't seen all of it, but I am aware of the results for the most part. So,
yeah,
I know you did a show. You and Jeff did a special edition Smack Attack. Dr. Jeff Littman and Dr. Jimmy T broke it down medically for everyone.
Medically. I like it. No, yeah, we did. We broke it down. And to be honest, man, for me, I just felt like it kind of sucked a little bit, dude. I was kind of bored, to be fair. Actually, as a matter of fact, I will dare say that I enjoyed Dynamite more so than Crown Jewel. I actually truly mean that. That's the shocker of the night so far. But before we do get into all that, I do want to get into some news.
Okay.
Because now apparently, have you've seen about the Rhea Ripley news, and apparently her broken orbital bone on her, face, basically her eye. I'm not gonna lie, Vet, I truly don't buy that. I don't think she's injured, but apparently it's legit because of her headbutt that she did on Raw a couple of weeks back. I could have sworn we saw her a week later after that incident. Didn't look like there was anything wrong with her in my book. But again, the dirt sheets all saying it's a legit injury. I truly don't buy it, Vet. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's kind of if it's actual injury, can people stop hurting Rhea Ripley, or can Rhea Ripley stop getting hurt? Because let's face it, if that shoulder injury that she had, that would have been her jumping into the wall. It's not like anybody could have muscled her into that wall, so she would have hurt herself on that one. And if are they saying that it was her headbutt that caused her orbital bone to? Well, you're not supposed to headbutt somebody with your own eye. You're supposed to headbutt somebody with your head. The head, not the face. It's not called a face butt.
Maybe it was a eye kiss or something.
Yeah, maybe it's. Was that the Adelaide kiss as opposed to the Glasgow kiss?
That's definitely an Adelaide kiss. I'll vouch for that 100%. But yeah, look, I don't buy it though. Even the Liv Morgan injury at the time, I actually didn't buy it then either. I think
let's work backwards from that though. So okay, they're lying. So why is this? Why did they do it?
Look, this is not factual or anything like this. It's just opinion, obviously, and that's what we do here. But the only thing I could come up with really is either I was using the homesickness part initially, It can't be that still at this point because she's already had time off, right? So forget that. I truly think they don't know what to do with her right now. Honestly, because think about it, right? She has to look strong all the time. And with all the women's stuff that's going on at this present time, right? What do you do with her at this point in time? There's no Charlotte yet, right? Bailey's doing her own thing on SmackDown, whatever. Like, what do you truly do with her right now? She'll eat Raquel Rodriguez alive anyway. Technically, she'll eat Liv Morgan alive. And I'm talking about perception-wise even. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing to do with in real life if she's the bigger, stronger woman. I'm talking about the perception to everybody is that Rhea Ripley would just pretty much destroy most women in that locker room, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
Well, I mean, you've got some nice, strong women in that locker room now, and Raquel Rodriguez would be one of them. And if you remember, these two really went at it right before Rhea Ripley left NXT in the first place.
Right.
So it's not like they haven't established that they're a toe-to-toe, that's a toe-to-toe battle. So I that would be the obvious thing. What do you do with it right now? Well, what do you do with it right now is you sort of put Raquel in between her and Liv as a buffer. But
right.
I mean, that's what you would
how
do.
long?
That's the logical explanation, but
can they stretch
a lot of wrestling though, Jimmy, is especially in the WWE, is just guys showing up.
True.
Like, before all this, before the Roman thing and all this other stuff, Jay was just basically showing up and getting the crowd to lift their arms up and down. And he wasn't really doing much. And that's why his dad started complaining, right? Even though it was an enjoyable part of the show every week to a lot of people and the crowd was engaged. And it's not like anybody really wants to see a Jey Uso wrestling match. But they really were just having him appear as a figure, and then he gets involved in a bigger match, and that's kind of how you're supposed to do it. So Rhea Ripley's supposed to show up on TV. She's supposed to exist. People are supposed to get excited when she makes her entrance, and they play the music, and she does the big stomp, and then she does the weird poses and does all the other stuff and stands around looking good and all that. You don't need to have all the matches, and then when the time is right, here comes a Raquel match. Here comes another shot at Liv Morgan. So that's what you do to answer your question. I feel like that's the easy part. But why do you need? But just because do you really think that they're just going to fake an injury just because they're like, oh, she's too over, I don't know what to do? Of course not. Then why isn't everybody on the show faking injuries then?
No. Hold on. Yeah, let me look. You can never put it past them when it comes to faking an injury. You never know, right? I mean, only because I don't see evidence of her injuries, really. Even when what happened on NXT, they had all these fake fucking makeup on her, right? For example, that looked really fake, let's be honest, right? The week before, she was on Raw, but apparently it happened the week before that when she actually fucked her orbital, right? So if it happened then, we would have seen some sort of bruising or something, man. Like, I just didn't see anything like that for that matter. And that's my problem. Like, you know what I mean? Show me the evidence that she's injured. I just feel like they've maybe booked her so strong that they can't have her there all the time, like week in, week out. Because she, they might feel like she needs to run over a lot of these women. And if she doesn't, then it's bad on her. I could be way off. This is just a conspiracy theory, obviously, on my part. And I could be way wrong. But I just feel like there's something to this that doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Like I said, it could be not what I'm saying. It could be something else altogether. But it's just, I don't know, man. Something's off about that. So, because look, if she's going to go up against Liv Morgan, what are they going to do? Cheat her out all the time? For her to lose, cheat her out the same bullshit over and over and over again? Or does she run her over? Because when she does get her shot, at a world championship again, when she does, and it's time for her to win the bout, I feel like she's going to run over Liv if she's the one to dethrone her. Do you know what I mean? And then you got Tiffy with the whole Money in the Bank. There's a lot going on with the women. That's what I mean. So right now, it's probably better to have her away for a bit.
Maybe, but I never agree that that's the answer.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to let it play out, I guess.
And I'm glad you just. I see daylight savings comment. Thanks to Mike Martin in the chat. I'm glad you told me, Vet, because I wouldn't have known about it, and I would have scheduled this show an hour earlier, and it was confusing me because we just went through our daylight savings time about 3 weeks ago, probably, if that, and that confused me. And now you guys going through it as well. I was like, oh fuck, what time do we start? And then I'll try to work it out in my head. I'm like, hang on, that means 3 a.m. my time. And your time, I mean, shit, it's early for you, dude. Like, we started at 8 a.m. your time, right?
Well, we always do, but I mean,
right. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just one of those things I wish everybody would just agree that we don't need and get rid of it.
Yeah, no, it's a man-made bullshit. It's all bullshit. But yeah, it is what it is. And also, can I say something before I move on to other news, especially our little releases? I was going to send you a text before that, but I thought, fuck it. But did you see the Collision advertisement of Moxley does Philly?
Well, it was on the show, wasn't it?
Right. But do you think it's a little stupid the way they advertise that, if you know where I'm going?
I mean, I was just going to bring it up, but, you know, when we got to it, but.
Oh, so you agree then? We won't talk about it, but am I onto something?
I don't know what you're onto, Jimmy. Perhaps I'm just maybe my brain is still a little foggy because I went back in time tonight. What exactly are you alluding to?
Just the advertisement about Moxie being on Collision and what is said on the poster, basically, or the screenshot.
Yeah. Well,
it says Mox does Philly.
Okay.
What is this, a porn? That's what I'm saying. It just looked a bit weird, that's all. You know what I mean? What is he, Debbie does Dallas?
That's as deep as you got with it.
Okay, no, yeah, nothing. It's just funny. Okay. I just felt that was the wrong wording, but or yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's silly, but still. There was releases also, by the way, Vet, this past week. Indy Hartwell's one, Baron Corbin's the other, and Tegan Nox is your third. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not surprised with Tegan, obviously. I mean, everyone thought she was released a year ago at this point. Indy, I'm kind of surprised about, but in a way I'm not. But I'm just the way it went down. I'm kind of surprised because she seems very well liked in the back. But this is not a popularity contest, obviously, so it's irrelevant. And technically, her skill set is not WWE-esque for them, if you know what I mean. I don't think she's good enough to be on a, in a company like that. But still, it's a bit of a shock. And also, Baron Corbin is a little bit of a shocker. Sure, he's been doing nothing, but you could always bring him back and you can always get into something and he'll be all good. So I'm kind of surprised about that. But what's your take on those three releases anyway, Vet?
I could kind of. This was just one of those things where I could see this. Well, first of all, I saw this a long time ago because I saw nothing in Baron Corbin since he was in NXT the first time.
I agree.
There just wasn't anything there. And he got better over time, but like not to the degree that he obviously should have. The Indy Hartwell is just like a day one thing. I'm like, well, geez, you can barely, I'm amazed she didn't trip over her own feet more often in that ring. She's an absolute charisma vacuum. And the only thing that was carrying her is her accent. Cause sometimes, Australian accents sound, they sound like British accents enough to make people think that they're smarter than they are. So maybe she sounds a little classy when she talks, but not really. She just has that dumb face, and she's uncoordinated and unathletic, and she really just was wasting everybody's time and payroll. I'm sorry to say, it's just how I evaluate it. Tegan Nox, similar situation. Early on, she busted both her wheels. And it just wasn't ever going to get any better than that. And then when she came back, I know they wanted to, like people were kind of roasting her when she was like the last time she was on TV working as like, really, Tegan Nox is going to get over? And I just felt at the time like maybe Triple H felt like he owed her at least a shot since she has had bad luck. So it's like, well, let's give her a shot, now that she's supposedly healthy, and let's see what she can do. Obviously, maybe not obviously to everybody, but obviously to me, it was never going to work. She was just not athletic at all anymore, if she ever was. So I just thought it was really going to be one of these things. Now, she's been a healthy scratch for a long time, because I was just recently talking about that with, I don't know if it was my Twitch chat or somebody was talking about whatever happened to Tegan Knox, and I looked her up, and at the time I looked her up, she hadn't been released yet. Just being left off television. So it kind of was like, I think they were going to do the old, hey, we gave it a shot, but we're not going to be re-signing you because there's just nothing there. So
I agree with that, Brad. Actually, they should have gotten rid of Dakota Kai as well. I'm with her on that one. With him, not her. On that, she's pretty useless in my opinion. Also,
wait, Mike is asking me, didn't I like that chick? Which one? I don't recall liking any of these women. Dude, all three of these people, I wouldn't have. Think of the amount of time that they spent inactive on the roster in one way or another. I would have pocketed that money and cut them a long time ago.
Oh,
I would have never signed Baron Corbin off a tryout. I wouldn't have signed Tegan Knox off a tryout. Like, we got enough unathletic white women. I don't care if you're from Wales or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not exotic enough to keep you. I would say to Indy Hartwell, like, we have Australians that are coordinated. We don't need you either. Like,
yeah, no.
None of these were ever my people. Just let's put that out there. And I'm sorry that sounds cold. And in a way, I'm happy for them that they were able to get whatever they got out of the WWE. But I wouldn't have let Indy Hartwell on AEW Dark.
Oof, that bad, huh? Well, look, she's bad, but the only thing I have a soft spot for her is, yes, she's from Melbourne, right? But also I knew her like from the Australian indie scene, and she had a name, on the Australian indie scene. So her going to the US and making it in WWE was a big thing for me, like for her. That is, I was happy for her. Same with Dakota Kai. Even though she's from New Zealand, she made her name in Australia, right? On the Australian independent circuit, and then went off to WWE. But as most New Zealanders do, because there's no real independent scene in New Zealand, they generally come to Australia and do their work there. Right. It's just, there's only one promotion that's half decent, and it's, if you want to call it decent, you know what I mean? So for them, it's, they have to come over to us. But, she is bad. She's just, her claim to fame is literally the whole, what's his name? The marriage thing with Dexter Lumis on NXT. That's pretty much her claim to fame, and that was probably her biggest thing on television.
And she was part of the Way with
and the
Gargano,
Way, right? Exactly.
And Candice and Austin Theory, and they're all doing different stuff now. So
sure. And that reminds me, why isn't Candice LeRae fired yet? I mean, release her for crying out loud. I know she's with Gargano, but still,
he's a shield for her at the moment, but it's not going to last. It's I know that people have. There's guys, people have soft spots for some of these guys, but it's not going to last forever. They have to understand that there's just really not any business to be done here. And I think that's essentially what happened with
Knox, Corbin, and Indy. How well?
Yeah, they tried with Corbin a lot. Corbin tried. I just don't think the fans ever really were going to care in any fashion. They just didn't. A lot of people liked the like him being like a bum, like they thought that was funny, but it wasn't good television really. It was just something else, like, to ironically, like, oh look, he's
comes up with shit like that. Yeah, exactly. To me, it's a rib almost.
Yeah.
But Zane wants to know why you hate Corbin, Vet.
His whole career, just take your pick, whatever he's done.
Oof, that was
You know,
a
the
nice zinger
lone
right
wolf, Baron Corbin. I was like, okay. Then the bell rings, and then you know there's just they just try. I don't know why they just tried, and it was never going to happen.
Sonic the Hedgerat says, can't wait for WWE to drop the ball on Ty Dillinger again. Well, where is he right now? He's disappeared again. Where'd he go, actually? Didn't he re-sign with NXT?
Yeah, he's there right now. He's doing
But he
a
hasn't been
gimmick
on
with big Jack Perry down there. He's like trying to take him under his wing.
Oh God. Anywho, let's get into some other news though. Speaking of, Marco Stunt announces his retirement. Woohoo! Good for him.
Beautiful. Where's Aaron Ben? Come on, Aaron Ben. Let's get a round of applause. I know you've been waiting for this.
Now? You happy now, Aaron?
I think we're all happy. I think we're all like, thank you. I want to take this time, you know, live publicly. I want to thank Marco Stunt for finally acknowledging that he's an embarrassment and stepping away. You know, I thank you for finally realizing how the credibility that you took away from something that's already by definition not credible. So thank you very much for finally understanding that, and stepping away.
Well, in the sticking with the retirement news, Bill Goldberg is announced that he's going to have his retirement match sometime next year in WWE. Who could it be? Is it going to be who we think it is? And Gunther's going to put him out of his misery, basically? Is that what's going to happen?
I don't know. Is this a case, is what I wonder. Is this a case of him trying to speak something into existence, or is he saying it because he already knows it's going to happen for sure? Like he's already put pen to paper on something, so he's going to say, oh yeah, I'm doing it. Or is he just saying like, this is going to happen and trying to like, you know, force somebody's hand? I wonder which one.
Nah. Well, you see, you couldn't put it past him on the ladder. That's the thing. But I think it's a done deal. Surely he can't come out and say all that and for it not to happen. But then again, he does go into business for himself, and he's known to do shit like that. So I don't know. It's a good question. It could be, but I doubt it. For now, I'm going to lean towards that. It's already been done. And I mean, I know he was in Atlanta. He was just there because it's Atlanta, right? At Bad Blood. But they still did something. They still teased shit. So there's got to be something on the table. Or at the very least, very close anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But yeah.
Why would you do that to, if it is Walter, why would you do that to him, man? He will have his
retirement match in WWE in 2025. Ah, fuck. I don't know. I don't even want to see him, dude. That's it. He's too old. He's done, dude. Like, I don't care. He's not going to entertain me. Is there any other decent news? If you want to call it any sort of news, but Becky Lynch wrestling break and WWE return plans update, apparently. Let's see what's going on here.
Update, huh?
Well, that's what it says. I don't know what this update is, but this is what it has to say. Becky Lynch's contract with WWE expired this past June, and she's currently on a break from wrestling, but it's believed to be returning to WWE in the very near future. Fightful Selects, I hate this guy, Sean Ross Sapp reported that his sources stated that Lynch's situation currently remains unchanged, and Sapp reported that both Lynch and WWE officials currently expect her to eventually return to the company, as Lynch reportedly has been enjoying her time off, and WWE officials is trying to respect that. Trying to respect that, apparently, Vet. They got the inside word, dude.
What does that mean? Like their instinct is to really disrespect her time off? Is that what that means? Like, man, I want to call her up and harass her every day, but God, I'm trying not to.
Because they need her so bad. I mean, because their women's
Rhea Ripley broke her face. We need you, Becky.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Excuse me. I don't know, man, but it's ridiculous. Where do they even get that information from, man? Where
sources?
They're trying. Yeah, sources.
Sources.
Tomato sauces, bro. Or barbecue sauces, whatever sauce. It ain't an actual sauce, that's for sure. Yeah, well, I guess Any other noteworthy news here? Because it's all friggin' feels like Hollywood-esque. And no, you know what? I don't want to get into the Bucks until we talk about the Bucks on Dynamite. So there's no point of saying it now. But there's Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker fucking news because they welcome the birth of their first child. Apparently, good for them. I'm not even going to get into that. But that's other than that, dude. I don't think there's much going on here. Oh, El Phantasmo, by the way. I just wanted to. I know you knew about it, but before I forget to mention it, apparently he's got cancer, dude, and it doesn't seem that bright, like for him either. But in saying that, Chris Bay's injury must be that bad that for him to say, "Don't pray for me, pray for my boy Chris Bay because he really needs the prayers." I've got a bad feeling that it's going to be the end of his career, dude. At this point, I mean, that's how bad it seems. And as far as Luchasaurus goes too, I think we can expect his career to be done also. I don't think he's ever coming back, dude. That pneumonia situation is a lot more serious than we've been led on to believe. So that sucks there. And also El Phantasmo with the cancer news is kind of shocking to me, dude.
Well, it happens. It is sad. It's sadder that if this does have some sort of a long-term effect on his career. I mean, he's not that young. I mean, he's young in general life terms, but in wrestling terms, he's been doing this for a minute, and it's kind of sad that he didn't get like a bigger stage because I always thought he was really, really good.
Me too.
One of my favorites.
For sure.
I remember the first time I heard his name, and I was like, El Phantasmo, huh? That sounds cool. Some kind of luchador. And then he's just some fucking white dude. He's some fucking Canada, white guy from Canada. And I'm like, what? You call what? But,
what the fuck?
He won me over because he's very entertaining and he's good at what he does. He's a good worker. He did things in the ring that made me go, this guy knows what he's doing. Somebody taught him right. And he does a lot of cool high-flying moves, but he does them at the right times and he always hits. Like, he never fucks up his spots or whatever. Like, he doesn't, he's not coming down with the Billy Kidman knees to the face or whatever. He would always, like, if he would get a lot of hang time on his stuff. And, he looked really like he would be a fun guy to work. So hopefully he can make a recovery and then people can actually see him because he's a little too obscure for my taste right now. I'd like him to be more famous.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy that I got to see him in person too, man. Down here when New Japan done a couple of pay-per-views in
one of the best matches I ever saw live was, and if you guys want to see it somehow, but it was when there was a New Japan show in San Jose, and it was him, and he had that's back when he had the British Cruiserweight Championship from Rev Pro or something.
It was about a couple of years ago, I think. Maybe even a year ago, if it's the one I'm thinking of in San Jose.
No, it's longer ago than that. Okay. It was probably 2018, 2019 or somewhere there. And it was him versus Show in a singles match for that title. And they really tore it down. Like, the crowd was into it. And I was front row at that show. So if you go watch on New Japan World, you can see me there.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
You can see me there. But great match. He really had the people thinking Show was going to win that belt. And that's, so he deserves a grander stage to work on, but I don't think it's ever going to happen, really.
But he's earned it. He's a lot better than people realize. It's true. And just like you, when I first heard of this El Phantasmo character, I definitely thought he was a luchador. And then to my horror, I was like, what? He was the real rock and roller too, suddenly, if you remember. He was doing the whole, because it was Bullet Club, and he was doing the whole Finn Balor sort of gimmick, being the original rock and roller, if you know what I mean, with the lit up jacket and whatnot.
Headbang.
And then yeah, absolutely. And I love his entrance theme is cool too, dude. I don't know, it just suited him. His original one that
not anymore, yeah.
Not now. That's what the fuck? Why'd they do that to him, man?
I don't know. Well, anyway, everybody get well soon. Everybody. Luchasaurus get well soon. El Phantasmo get well soon. Who else needs to get well soon?
Chris Bay.
Chris Bay, yeah, Chris Bay. Please, Chris Bay.
I think they're the mains. Yeah. So from everybody here from all of us here at HMG, get well soon, fellas, because some horror things going on in the world of pro wrestling. That's for sure, man. As far as sickness and unfortunately injuries. Yeah, that's about it, dude. I think we can move on to sifting through some wreckage, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry to just shock
Sifting
you there.
gloves on already, huh? All right.
Do
Well,
I need
let's
to
get
put
through
gloves
this.
on? Hey, man, personally, I thought Dynamite was half decent, man, for the first time in a long time for me.
Well, let's see how this goes.
Let's see. Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
so
do
if
it.
it's Dynamite we're talking about, that would mean that Orange Cassidy is going to start the show. And he does this by demanding that the new owner's video that's playing to start the show be shut off. He comes out and tells the truck to stop playing the video. And then he does like a promo in the ring, yada, yada, yada. But he says he's not going to let the future of the company be destroyed by these guys. So that's why he's going to be the one to take on Jon Moxley by himself and not have all these guys like the private parties and the Dark Order. I don't know if Evil Uno's the future of the company, but I get his point.
It's the future. Yeah. Yeah, pal.
Yeah.
The future.
Yeah, so that happened. So Orange Cassidy with a semi-serious promo. What do you think about that?
Okay, funny. I thought he was doing okay at first. I was actually quite surprised with his promo, right? At first. Then he started slowly sounding like Kenny Omega a little bit for some reason to me. Just his tone. And then I couldn't get it out of my head. He started sounding very monotone also towards the end. So I thought he started well. And I thought this is the best promo I've ever heard him do because he doesn't cut promos. Let's be real. He just doesn't. So for a first time being right in the middle of the ring and on television worldwide, no less, cool. But maybe went a little too long. And then he started getting a little monotone for me, if that makes any sense. So he would have hit it at the park initially for me, but then he kind of dipped. That's how I took it, man. But what do you think anyway?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the last time he cut a promo this long, I think he was facing Jon Moxley again.
Oh, really? Well, there you go.
Yeah, I remember back when he was fighting him for the international title.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, so yeah, that was basically that. But this is the whole idea is, I mean, you've had Orange Cassidy be this sort of a comedy character for so long that
and now he's the leader.
Yeah, now that the switch is flipped, it's supposed to be like a big impactful moment, you know? It's supposed to be like, yeah, oh my God, this is now Orange Cassidy is serious, you know? Like I think Tony envisioned this hitting a lot harder than it came off. It just hasn't. So, but I get it.
Do you think he's getting thrown into the deep end too soon right now? Not too soon. That's probably the wrong word.
5 years?
That's what I'm saying. Not exactly too soon. But in terms of being front and center, though, talking promos, doing all that shit, is he the right guy right now to lead AEW into the fucking future? Because I doubt he wins the AEW World Championship, but then again, I'm probably going to be way off. But if he does, I'm telling you, dude, you watch those numbers. I know that the ratings don't mean shit, right? Really. But you're going to see even more of a dip. You know what I mean? Regardless. I just don't see how. And if the rumors are believed, and again, I think these are all hogwash because it's just these sources and these dirt sheet guys are just watching what they see. And then they're thinking, oh, he must be the future. So AEW is looking to book him in the future. Tony Khan is looking at it like he's our guy.
Anything a wrestler says, they take it as like a gospel, right?
It's fucking stupid, dude. And it's obvious too. The more I understand the way they work, the more obvious it actually is. But Todd wants to know, but if not Orange, then who? It's a good question. I don't think it's Orange, but really it's Jay White for me. I'll fucking give him the belt and let him run with it. That's me, though. And I'm probably being biased. But Orange, I don't know, man. Like, is he... You got to think of money in the broader spectrum here, Todd, a little bit. Does he draw? Is he really a draw? I don't know, man. That's the name of the game, right, Betty? Isn't it about drawing? I mean, come on.
Well, let me ask another question in response to that, just because of what we're talking about here.
Right.
When you look at the upcoming schedule, when you see AEW's coming to your town, and you go to your bank account, you look at the money you have, and decide if you want to go to the show or not, are you saying, well, I kind of want to go, but who's the champion? Is that how you dictate whether you want to go to the wrestling show or not? Is that what we're trying to insinuate, that AEW has drawing power based on champions? Is that what we're asking?
Well, clearly not in this company, because they've killed so many guys anyway. It doesn't really matter. I mean, look at Moxie for an example. He's champion, but do you realize he's champion?
I mean, I do, but is anybody? I mean, I just don't. I think everybody kind of I think they're buying a ticket to the show. Like, in essence, what Vince McMahon wanted, where the company name is bigger than the individuals at times. In some ways, that's kind of true. Especially with WWE now, I think a lot of people are looking at it as like a fun show to go to live because of the energy there. They look at AEW on television. It looks better on television than the way it looks when people try to show how few people are in the arena on Twitter. But the crowd that is there generally seems to be having an okay time. And then it seems like as the AEW shows go on, even those loyal fans get pounded into submission and just can't be bothered to keep it up for as long as they're asked to keep it up. So, but I don't think that anybody's decision is made by who has the AEW championship belt. I don't think that's what's selling a ticket. I think they either want to go to the show or not. So if Orange Cassidy is the AEW champion, most people won't even know that when they're purchasing the tickets, especially if it's that far in advance.
Well, the hardcore's definitely not, but I know casual fans that would go on the basis of who's there. Do you know what I mean? And who's appearing. And if they feel the card looks weak, they won't go. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Whereas me, I'll look at every opportunity regardless of what the card is. Obviously, I'm that type of fan. I'm going to want to go, right? So it is what it is. But Orange, see, this is the thing. Do the belts mean anything anymore in this company?
I mean, they're trying to with this angle. They're trying to say it does. So I mean, whether you believe it or not, is one thing. But I mean, you can lead a horse to water, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, but I feel like they've done so much damage and there's so much crap, like in terms of too many championships and whatnot, that they've sabotaged their own shit unintentionally. I hope unintentionally, anyway. If you get what I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: Orange Cassidy is not going to turn the fortunes of the company around, but it's not going to happen one way or another. If their storyline is Jon Moxley is holding this belt and this company hostage, then who's going to rescue the company? If that's the story they're going with, Orange Cassidy is just as good of a choice as anybody because he's been a fan favorite and he's been pushed in a generous light this whole time. It's going to take more than that necessarily to be believable, even if you like Orange Cassidy. And even if I thought this was a good kind of a story, I still would take a guy like Orange and use him as a sacrifice to build up to maybe another person until we get to the right person. So,
I know who. Garcia.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's exactly where I'm going with that. He's going to be the one. All right. So anyway.
We're joking, just quietly, people, just in case. Sometimes people think we're serious.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, because we're always so serious here. If I can be serious for a minute.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just, anyway, my next note is, I guess I just made this note because I saw the commentary team and I was like, whatever Taz has got going on with his knee and his surgery and stuff, can he can he just do the commentary from Zoom or something? Can he just, because I can't have this fat daddy, whatever his name is.
Hey,
I
come on,
can't
Vic,
take
come
this
on.
this can't be the commentary team, please. I'll take
You know what's funny?
Taz on bad internet. I'll take Taz on Jimmy's internet over
So would I.
Magic, fat Magic.
But you know what's ironic though about you saying that? He's literally trying to be as serious can be, dude. That's what's hilarious. He's literally trying to be serious.
He sounds like us when we're doing the intro of the show. Da wreckage. Like, that's just how he sounds.
That's exactly what he sounds. That's what he is. It's exactly that. 100%, dude. For sure. I agree.
Speaking of agree, Sonic says, I agree with Vet, but I'm a wrestling fan, so I hope Orange wins. Oh yeah, well, if we're just talking personal a la carte preferences, yes, get that belt the hell off of Moxley and get him the hell off my television. I don't care who it is. Orange Cassidy's fine if that's my personal. But you know what I want is an always best for business.
Right, so. Exactly. And Todd the Comic King says Zoom commentator Jones over here. Yeah, absolutely. All right, hurry up, Taz. Get back.
Now here's somebody who can save the company because Renee is with Mercedes Money and Camille, and you don't need luck when you're the CEO, Jimmy.
Clearly not. What'd you think of her garb, dude? She looked
great, perfect.
You think so?
Beautiful. Yeah. Yes, everything she does is right and good. Mm-hmm.
CEO.
Yep. All right. Now back to the bottom of the barrel here. It's Adam Cole Baby versus Buddy Baby. All right, so this is our first chance to see Adam Cole with the shirt off. He ain't no bigger. His fake tan looks gross.
Was that fake tan, dude, or was that jaundice? He looked yellow.
A little of both. Well, probably a little bit of both. Dude, probably has some liver damage.
I'm telling you, dude. He concerned me this time, man. I'm thinking, because I'm looking at everyone else. Buddy didn't have fucking any spray on shit. Most other wrestlers tonight, well, not tonight, from Wednesday night, didn't really have any spray tan either. But him, it's either bad spray tan or that is liver damage. Bad liver damage.
It's streaky. And he doesn't have Britt to get his back anymore, so it's uneven. We did get a Buddy chant.
Good.
Yeah, we got a Buddy chant.
Were
they chanting for him because of his wife though? I mean,
maybe that's a good question. It could be. I mean, they weren't doing Ripley chants, to be fair, so I doubt it.
Okay.
But look, man. I mean, look at him. Look at Cole. Why wouldn't you be cheering Buddy compared to Cole? I mean, Cole. He was suddenly. I'm feeling that Cole is starting to go away here a little bit, dude. Just a little bit. It's slowly beginning. Even in this match, I felt like they were going for Buddy more.
Yeah. Well, they do it. They work an injury during the match, where Cole's like, "Ow, my foot. I'm brittle. I'm weak. I'm fragile." Just like Buddy said, "Ow, ow." And then they actually do a spot where he's gonna like hobble to the back, even though he's having he has to win 3 matches to get his hands on MJF like he wants, and he's letting these guys help him to the back. And then Buddy says, you know, I thought I was gonna get the old Adam because the new Adam is a bitch, and everybody goes, ooh. And then he's like, how dare you? I guess my injury doesn't matter since my pride is more important. So he goes back in and the match resumes and he tries punching. But eventually Adam Cole collapses, probably because of too many leg slaps. He wore his knee down with leg slapping and he collapsed to the mat. And then the best, just the absolute, just beautiful chef's kiss of a finish. He does 2 Panama Sunrises, one in the ring, and then he does a Panama Sunrise on the floor, which I guess if you're doing a flipping pile driver on the concrete floor, Buddy should be getting hospitalized and being put in a bed next to Chris Bay. But instead, Adam Cole immediately rolls him in, hits his shitty knee, and goes over. And then he cuts a promo in there saying, "I see what you did, buddy. You were trying to get the real Adam Cole, so thank you." And then they shake hands, and then the lights go out, and then Malachi, and then yada yada. So I guess we know where Adam Cole's next match is going to be. I wonder who his third match is going to be.
And they're all victims too, which is even sadder, dude. That's the sad part, right? If he goes through the whole Malachi Black House of Black crew, that's it, man. That is the most shittiest friggin' booking period, man. But in saying that, they look like idiots after the match. So now Buddy's friends with him. I was hoping like Malachi would slap the shit out of Buddy for like shaking Cole's hand and whatnot and congratulating him and shit. That shouldn't be the case. Fuck him. You know what I mean?
They're all old NXT friends, so.
I know, but fuck that shit, man. We're going by kayfabe. I'm trying to keep a kayfabe here, right? This House of Black bullshit, right, are supposed to be like, I don't know what they are. They're demons. Who the fuck knows? They're supposed to be badasses, right? You got Cole. You look at him. Does he look like my finger looks like a professional wrestler compared to him, right? And I get it. He's gone through a lot of shit. Cool. Don't come back yet till you're ready then. Go hit the gym. And then when you're ready and you've got a bit of fucking...
He's never really...
No, I know.
much different, but...
But in WWE, at least he had a little bit of respect, self-respect. He looks somewhat he looks in much better shape, to be fair, than what he does now. But he's never been a tank or anything. That's true. But at least he looks somewhat respectable, sort of. But now he just looks like a joke. He looks like his head is getting bigger than his body, dude. If you know what I mean.
Always
if you see it. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true too. I don't know, man. I used to be a Cole fan, but now he just annoys the shit out of me, bro.
You were a Cole fan.
I kind of liked it. I'm talking about even during the Bullet Club days, like even then.
You liked his Bullet Club run.
I didn't mind him. But now I just can't stand him.
Yeah. Well, everybody eventually catches up to me, so that's good.
Yeah.
Renee is with Private Party, and like I believe it was Bruce pointed out earlier that or G Russ or Gruss or however you say that. I believe he pointed out something about like how come none of the baby faces are confronting Renee about her husband.
Oh.
But yeah, I heard Jim Cornette mention that too. Like, why isn't anybody saying anything? But seems like an obvious thing you could say. It's, I don't know. They're not doing it.
They're all clowns. That's why.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, Private Party's there and she's interviewing them and Christopher Daniels comes in and he's like, which Christopher Daniels, like, look, everybody on this show gets their promo interrupted. The only angles that ever come on, like, is during somebody's promo where somebody will try to cut a promo backstage and then someone will just walk in, right?
Right.
So you would think that the least that Christopher Daniels could do is be the guy to not do that to another wrestler since he's the Office. But here he comes. He's like, hey, guys, I know you're doing a promo, but shut up for a second because I just want you to know that I think it's dangerous that you guys are messing with the Combat Club or whatever, the new owners. So be careful out there. And they're like, all right, thanks, Christopher Daniels, but, we got to do what we got to do.
I did hear him referencing to this Blackpool bullshit to Moxley's Combat Club now, by the way. I don't know if that is the name, but if it is, it's pretty lazy.
All right. Well, next we're back to Adam Cole. He's cutting a promo from the trainer's table. He says, in his promo, he's talking to MJF directly, and he's like, I don't blame you for my ankle injury. And I'm like, well, you can't blame him because you jumped off a ramp. You were actually his friend at the time. Why would you blame him? I blame you because you were getting beat up and I tried to help you and that's what hurt me. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he also explains how I knew you were going to turn on me, so that's why I turned on you type of deal. Yeah, even though there was no sight of that even happening. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Well, speaking of turns and angles that nobody is really that invested in, Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis. They come out and they call Will Ospreay. They say, get out here, Will Ospreay. But instead they get, I think we've mentioned this guy before, Mark Davis. You remember Mark Davis? He's back.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel bad for him, dude. I truly do. Plus,
Why? Don't feel bad for him. They offered him a spot in the family. They said, "Here, we got a spot all picked out for you, Mark Davis."
yeah, right. First of all, damn it, he sucks on the mic bad. Oof. Like, that was awkward, dude. He made Fletcher look like he could speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's bad, dude. And I feel bad for him because what do you do with this guy? He's just going to get buried now, pretty much, and be left out to dry. And then we probably won't see him for a long time. As a matter of fact, he'll probably be in Ring of Honor.
Well, before you do that, this is what you do with this guy. You just have him come out and have Kyle Fletcher say, "Hey, want to join the family?" And then he'll say, "Why do I need it?" He said, "Why do I need a family? We had an empire," which
right, exactly.
True, we did have an empire.
It's true.
But yeah. So anyway, he's got a hard decision to make. I mean, I think so, and that's what Kyle Fletcher said too, so he agrees. Then we get Renee is with Hangman, and he does one of his weird angry promos. He said there's no such thing as redemption unless I'm playing Red Dead Redemption on my on my home console. But other than that, yeah. Then
Jesus Christ.
Then the new owners walk. They do their entrance through the crowd. I was thinking, if they're doing this like this with this gimmick and this angle, should someone play music?
Well,
wouldn't you like? Shouldn't the Office not play music out of protest?
Right. Actually, as a matter of fact, how do they know they were coming from the crowd and they already had the music queued up? That's kind of weird, right? Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, these are little details. I mean, there's just little things that you think about, but it doesn't matter because there's no consequence for anything you do. It doesn't matter if you try to commit murder or whatever. You can just, as long as you have a championship belt, at least, I guess you could do it. Wait, no, you can't, because I know a guy who had a championship belt and he grabbed a guy backstage at All In, and he doesn't work there anymore. But he had a championship belt at the time, though.
He did, and he never lost it either, apparently.
No.
Allegedly.
And all he did was grab one guy. There were no plastic bags. There was no screwdrivers. There was no, he grabbed him real quick. And then people got in between.
Wow.
But he was the champion at the time, so,
Wow, well, that's pretty sad. When you break it like that, Vet, it's actually pretty sad, man, because to me, the spot was, I know it's a work, right? But that spot with Danielson looks way worse than what that guy that used to be champion, who still is technically champion.
Whoever he is.
Whoever that guy is, I don't know who he is, but that choked out that Perry fella. You know what I mean? He didn't even choke him out, no less. It was just a little shove. And then, he's gone, really? Grow some balls, Tony. Fuck's sake. Anyway.
Well, he fears for his life. So, anyway.
Oh, yeah. True.
Mox is in the ring doing one of his promos. He says he doesn't want Orange Cassidy to catch the disease that makes everybody lazy and just collect a paycheck.
What the fuck was this about, dude? What the doesn't want him to catch the disease that makes him lazy?
Basically what he's saying is he doesn't what do you mean? What is he talking about? You know exactly what he's talking about. Why am I explaining this? What he does do is he teases that he's going to Pillmanize poor Wheeler Yuta. Like, I'm going to make an example out of him. And then Orange takes the bait. He's like, don't kill this guy. And then it was like, haha, sucker, we weren't going to do it. And then they beat him up
too, man.
And then Darby rappels down from the rafters like Sting.
Oh, how dumb did he look? What was the point of him coming from there? They didn't even catch it properly first. Second, he got freaking taken out in the second, bro. That was it. He comes down, got taken out, that was done. He was done. That was it. Plain and simple.
Right. And what was he gonna do up there all night if these guys didn't come out and do a promo? Or what if Orange Cassidy didn't? What if he actually just let Jon Moxley sit out there, and then he actually had to break Yuta's neck, and then would Darby still come down, or would he just stay up there all night, or like how was that going to work?
Good question. It's actually a very good question that unfortunately we won't ever find out. But it was just dumb, man.
Anyway, like you said, they got rid of him pretty quick, but then all the usual people come back out and run everybody off. The guys that were waiting in the parking lot with weapons, like all those guys, they run out, and the numbers, So then they play the Young Bucks music, because Private Party's in the ring. Private Party's in the usual group of guys, so they're already out there. But then the Young Bucks are like, well, I guess now's as good a time as any for the title match. So anyway, now we get the title match. So it's Private Party versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Cool. So I'm surprised the Bucks gave him up.
Well, there you go. You got right to the finish. The Bucks lose.
I mean, there's no point. This match was long. Look, it was long. There was a lot of near finishes. There was even Hulk Hogan moments. I forgot to mention Adam Cole even hulked up. And in this match, we had a Hulk up as well. Right? Too many Hulk ups going on in the same show, which is weird.
The real Hulk is banned.
Yeah, the real Hulk is banned. Right. That's true. But here we are getting a Hulk up, brother. Jesus Christ. Not one match, but two matches on the same show. We had to do it. You know what I mean? Private Party looked like the Hardy Boys of the late 90s. More particularly, Cassidy kind of gave me the vibes of Jeff Hardy with the see-through sort of shirt. I'm happy for Private Party, and that's cool. What I don't understand, though, what the fuck happened after this, dude? Like, why were they in a rush to leave, and why did they give him respect? That's not their character.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Young Bucks, after losing, they end up doing the handover, to sort of christen Private Party as the new champions. And, so yeah, to not very in character of them, but perhaps with all the chaos and everything going on in their company, they've been thinking about a lot of things and they don't have time to be as big a douchebags as they normally are, or something like that. Or maybe Private Party beat some respect into them during this match. Who knows?
Oh, sure. Well, I know one thing. Apparently, this is what I was going to get at, that I said earlier, and I was going to wait till we get to here. Apparently, Nick Jackson has got a shoulder injury. And this is probably their way of writing him off television for the time being.
So the only way they were going to give these guys up is because they're hurt? Like,
apparently. That's
you couldn't just put the kids over?
I know. See what I mean? And do they think they look good by doing that to the fans? Really? Like, they're such assholes in a way, man. When I say assholes, they're condescending as hell, dude. Like, do you know what I mean? I just can't take them serious anymore.
When you spend most of your career just sort of like exposing / making fun of the business, right?
Killing the business, dude.
They expect their fans, or the fans of this company, to see something like this. Like, you normally are douchebags all the time, but now, because we're actually being serious and shaking hands and giving respect to the team that beat us or whatever, oh, this means a lot now coming from the Young Bucks. These guys don't take anything seriously. It's the same way of like, oh, now Orange Cassidy is serious. The hands are out of the pockets. They think there's some humongous pivotal moment, in character development for these people. I don't think it lands that way, but I can imagine that that's how they want people to think when they look at it. So that's probably why they're doing it. But
well, Gus thinks that the Bucks will return the Moxley AEW invasion as an elite redemption story. I was thinking the same thing, to be honest, and that's probably exactly what's going to happen with Kenny. He's probably due to come back very soon. I mean, you saw him teasing, they were doing all the Kenny moves, the one-winged angel, the what do you call it? Oh my God, what's the knee? What's it called again? They're running anyway. The point is they'll copy Kenny Omega, And Gruss, unfortunately, is probably right. But if that's the case, it's lazy as hell, dudes. Again, we're gonna just be like, "Woo, yay, the elite is back." You know what I mean? And we're gonna supposed to forget about what was going on before that. If that's the case, it's just piss poor.
Yeah. Well, the problem is nobody really keeps their character long enough for anybody to establish one.
That's true. 100%, man.
All right. Well, Renee is with now see, this is funny. Renee is with Penelope and Jamie Hayter.
Oh,
and
God.
Now Jimmy, for this meeting here, there is a no physicality rule in effect. Okay?
Right.
So what's the first thing when you think of all of the stuff we've been talking about this whole show. Now, these two women have a no physicality rule. So what's the first thing that you think of when you hear that these women aren't allowed to have any physicality?
You bring them together in an interview backstage.
Well, basically, what I'm getting at is if it's just that simple, why doesn't somebody just enact a no physicality clause on Moxley? Then he won't be able to try to kill anybody anymore.
That's
just tell Moxley there's no physicality allowed now.
But we haven't seen management give a shit about what's going on. That's another bizarre
Doesn't
thing.
matter. They gave a shit about this, so problem solved. We figured it out. All we need to do, tell Moxley what you told Hayter and Ford. Just tell him no physicality, John. Sorry, I know you've been doing your thing, but that's the rules. No more physicality.
They need to kidnap Tony Khan in this whole storyline. They have to at this point. But anyway.
Is he going to show up at the? Is he going to be? If they kidnap Tony, is he going to be like tied up to a chair in a dark room, but doing awesome Zoom meetings with the Jacksonville Jaguars and stuff like from the room,
while he's kidnapped, tied up and shit? That would be awesome. That would pop me actually if he went that far.
Sorry guys. John Moxley was nice enough to take the gag out of my mouth, but I still have to stay in this chair. So.
But let's
just go ahead with the game plan.
Do you have Mox in the background, though, standing over him sort of thing? And when it's time for him to be done, he's the one that cuts off the interview.
Just drag the chair out of the shot.
Yeah. Hey, if they did that, at least it shows me that they care somewhat about kayfabe. That'd be cool if they did it. They won't.
No, that'd be the worst. Cool. That'd be the worst thing ever. So we get a package for Swerve and Shelton with little extra promos from MVP and Nana here. And then we get a learning tree promo on the ramp for whatever reason. And Chris Jericho says that he's going to be taking Ring of Honor to new heights.
Well, speaking of that, I forgot to mention that there's a rumor that Jericho's his contract is coming up, for example, apparently. And apparently the new deal could be him being the face of Ring of Honor and have nothing to do with AEW per se, which I will never believe. You will still see him on AEW television if it is true. But apparently that's what TK wants to do. I don't buy it. He's not going to want to be the face of Ring of Honor Wrestling only. This is Chris Jericho. He doesn't go for second rate. Do you know what I mean? He goes for second rate belts. As long as it's a championship, he's cool. But one thing that took me away from this little promo, dude, did you notice something? Was there something off about this promo between the three of them?
I don't remember now.
Did you see Big Bill's friggin' chest, dude?
No.
It was full of acne, bro. And I mean, savage. Like, it was disgusting, man. It was making me, I couldn't pay attention to the promo half the time because all I was doing was looking at his friggin' chest, man. I'm like, fuck, man. He must be on some testosterone shit, big time. And some horse fucking steroids, bro, because it looked bad, man. It was clusters of it, man. It was bad, really bad. If you go back on it, just pay attention to his chest. It is disgusting, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We are at we get a package for May and Jay. Then we get little Brooks Jensen Alex Marvez is trying to get a word with him, but he brushes him off. But he does not brush off Daniel Garcia, who grabs him up against the wall. This kind of looks like Tony should fear for his life if he saw this happening. But he sells it. But Jack sells the getting grabbed up against the wall by his shirt by brushing his hair. Like, all this seems very familiar. It seems like I've seen this somewhere before. And I feel like Daniel Garcia should get fired.
Yeah, you should. And it continues on to Collision when we get there, which is even worse. But until we get there,
we're not there yet.
We're not there yet, exactly.
We are at the much hyped showdown between Camille and Chris Statlander.
Oof.
So,
dude, you scarred me, by the way.
Scarred, eh?
Yeah.
Scarred.
Fat in a fat way.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, Camille. Talking about Camille.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Mercedes on the outside, and she's gonna hit Statlander with a shoe, but the referee catches her, so there goes that idea. Oh, that was good. I like that. There was a spot where I guess the announcers had said they went in a picture-in-picture, but it shouldn't have mattered because what I noticed was the live crowd. There was a spot where Camille was like taking Statlander around and hitting her face in every corner, you know, like throwing her in the buckle. And then finally, when she gets to the fourth corner, Statlander reverses on her and tries to fire up, and the crowd had no response whatsoever. It was kind of awkward. It was like
very.
Yeah, they probably were just not. They were like, the camera ain't on. I ain't cheering for this.
Well, not just that. Did you notice Camille needs to relax on the moans, man?
Yeah.
What she does is like moaning, and because the crowd didn't give a shit, it felt like it was echoing. It was pretty awkward, man. She rushes. She needs to relax a little bit, dude. But I feel like she's overthinking spot after spot. Like you can see them going into the next spot, and then into the next spot, and then into the next spot, and it's bad. She doesn't know how to be what's the word? Natural. She looks so awkward in the ring. It's just bad. She needs to calm down. Calm down, Camille. Just relax. Take it easy. Don't overthink it. Just do what you need to do and just worry about that and not overthink things. That's how it came across for me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she's just been like this. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's correctable at this point. I'm not sure. But anyway, once the camera came back on, Statlander got a big power slam, and the people did react to that. And she hit the Fright Night. What is it? Fright Night Fever? Because this was Fright Night Dynamite or whatever. So
the Halloween edition of it, which is funny because did you hear the theme, the Dynamite theme? It was done in a Halloween sort of. It's the same theme, but with like a Halloween tone to it. Like you're hearing laughter, and it was changed a little bit because they're so cool. But dude, can I say you're so right when you said about Statlander last week? Except she's gotten even fatter after last week, bro.
Well,
she's got. I mean, damn. I'm being serious. She put on more weight from the week before. I don't know how.
Hey, look,
but she did.
She's probably like a power lifter. She probably just is packing on mass, and then she's gonna she's gonna shred down later, you know. But
I can say that I'm a fat dude, so I can call it fat.
Right. So anyway, she hits the Fright Night Fever and actually gets the win, but then the CEO comes in and blindsides her, and then she yells at Camille for losing. She's like, "Get to the back," and then Camille just leaves. And then she says, "If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself." So,
and then she's like, "Huh," and walks off.
Yep,
like really.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
God.
Yep. Pretty good.
God damn it.
A+ segment.
Yeah.
So we get a package on the whole Hook and Kip and patriarchy thing. And the patriarchy does a promo after, and Christian extends an olive branch for next week when he's going to give Hook an explanation.
An explanation, huh?
Live explanation. Is that what people buy a ticket for? Like that's what draws, right? And explanations draw. Not champions,
100.
explanations.
Not explanations, dude.
Like,
that's
honey, they're gonna explain something on Dynamite. We should go. Let's bring the kids.
Yeah, because we have to see it. We all have to see that explanation, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I got to know. Don't about the championships. What
Suckers
championships? Too many. Suckers guts to know, exactly.
Yeah, which brings us to the conglomeration with Renee. And Mark Briscoe's word of the day is instability.
Instability. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love his man. I love how he does that every week. And they're not small words either. They're generally pretty big words, which makes me laugh even more.
Yeah. Well, basically this boils down into a challenge for a fight without honor next week. 3 versus 3. Learning Tree versus Conglomeration.
So in other words, it's a Texas Tornado type of match. Is that what's going to happen? Is that what it is?
I guess. I don't know. A fight without honor just means no DQ, right? So
that's what I'm assuming we're going to have.
I don't know if that means tags. I mean, I guess you can't be disqualified if you don't get out of the ring in 5 seconds. Not that anybody ever does in AEW or anywhere else.
Right.
But,
exactly.
So I guess theoretically, then yes, it should just be a Texas Tornado. Anyway, Christopher Daniels yells at the Young Bucks for leaving. He's like, "Where are you guys going?" And they're like, "We're going to work from home."
They're going to
That's not a joke. That's actually what happened. And then that means that they leave Brandon Cutler behind, and the new owners grab him up and beat the shit out of him, and they hold Christopher Daniels so that he has to watch. Well, first of all, Christopher Daniels doesn't give a shit about Brandon Cutler, so this doesn't have, again, the emotional impact of like, no, not my best friend, my bald brother, Brandon Cutler. No, don't. Yeah, but also, again, you're putting hands on management and no consequence for you. All you get is nothing. You get nothing. You get to do whatever you want. It doesn't matter if it's one thing if it's, lower card wrestlers, but now it's Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is the proxy for Tony Khan, supposedly. He's the one that's delivering these messages and telling Private Party to be careful in the middle of their promo or whatever he's doing. And now they can just hold him and make him watch the bludgeoning of another wrestler, even if it is Brandon Cutler. So,
and do they think the Bucks really give a shit about that? Suddenly they're going to be like, "Ooh,
turn the car around."
Right? They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But why now? Suddenly, did it seem like the owners? Do you think they were aiming to go after the Bucks initially, and the Bucks were onto it, so they quickly got the fuck out of there, or it was just coincidence they were leaving at the same time?
No, because they had their chances to go after anybody else besides these same 15, 20 people, and they don't take it.
Well, like Russ says in the chat, it's no secret, but AEW management has an unsafe work environment, clearly.
That's what we've heard.
That's what we've heard, including from the boss himself.
Yeah, so all right, well, it's main event time. It's the return to in-ring action of Swerve Strickland versus Shelton Benjamin. And I guess this match is okay for Shelton Benjamin to take a long time in, but
this is great though. I liked it though. It was methodical. He was wrestling like Brock Lesnar in this match, actually. It felt like in many ways. But I like this match. I like the way it went down, and we knew, it's so obvious, AEW, it's so obvious. But what I want to know is, actually, look, I'll get to it when you continue on, though.
Well, we'll just whatever about the match. If you saw it, you saw it. You don't need me to tell you about it. But Swerve wins with the Swerve Stomp, which has been a while since he's even won with that, but whatever. True. Let's not worry about that right now. So anyways, he does that, and then MVP on the outside just picks up his phone and makes a phone call.
Oh, that's what I was going to bring up.
Right. He makes a phone call, and then all of a sudden music plays and the lights go out, and here comes Bobby Lashley with a full entrance. It's like, so wait, So you needed to call him to come out? He couldn't see what happened on some monitor somewhere? Because he was right there. He didn't take that much time coming out. He came right out. So clearly he could have seen what was happening. But apparently MVP needed to do that little pantomime storytelling of, I got to call Bobby Lashley now. And then, or
Bobby,
maybe, no, you know what? Maybe he called the production person and said, play the music. Maybe
that would make more sense.
Maybe that's what he did. Probably that's probably what John Moxley did before he came through the crowd. He was like, play the music.
Yeah, but his tongue sticking out. I can picture cornets.
I didn't want it to go down this way, but play my music.
But not any music. I want my New Japan music.
Right. Yeah. Death Rider.
Yeah, the Death Rider one.
All right. So Bobby Lashley comes in. They do a stare down. Then they do a beat down. And then the refs and the security run in. And they all get thrown out of the ring and beaten up. I heard somebody at ringside say 90 seconds. And I looked at
I didn't.
Yes. I looked at it. I looked at how much time was left on my progress bar, and it was about a minute and a half left. And then I heard somebody say 30 seconds. So I could hear the time calls. Someone's yelling out in the arena this much time before we go off the air. That was awkward. But anyway, MVP gets the mic and he says, guess who's back in business? And then we're off the air at 30 seconds.
And that was that. And cut. Perfect. They did it. But tell me, did Lashley not look like $1 million? And I don't mind his theme song. It's kind of similar to his WWE one. Well, with the drums that doom, doom, doom. I was glad that they did that. But I felt like the crowd didn't click on though yet. They freaked out when the lights went out for a split second, which is weird at the time. Did you see how the lights sort of went out for a second? And then the crowd freaked out, like they just freaked. Then the lights came on, there was nothing. And then we heard the music play suddenly, and out comes Lashley. Loved his suit too. That leather suit looked like leather. Could be seeing things, but he looked like $1 million, dude. I still can't wrap my head around why WWE could possibly have nothing for these three guys, dude. I mean, it's just weird. It's bizarre to me. But there might be more to it that we don't know about yet, so who knows? But still, this is a plus for me, especially my a la carte, because I'm a fan of all three of these guys, and I'm just happy that if I'm putting up with this shit, at least it's something to look forward to until they destroy him.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about.
That take? But and we're not even going to worry about asking questions like, okay, so how are these guys and the new owners going to just be running parallel and never interact with each other? Because it would seem like a thing that would be obvious, but of course we're just going to act like these two are never going to see each other. They're never going to be involved with each other and everything like that. We're not going to do that. We're only going to enjoy this a la carte. A la carte is you have Bobby, MVP, and Shelton, and you're just going to enjoy them, their TV time for what it is and nothing else. Don't think about the booking. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the logic. Don't think about anything. Just enjoy looking at these men. Look at them.
Literally. Just look at them and hope for the best. Well, we don't give a shit about sports here on this show, Mr. Cliff Burton, but yeah, cool. Apparently Mark Minor says the crowd was waiting for Marco Stunt to come out. Instead they got Lashley. What a disappointment.
Can you imagine that if MVP calls up and
he gets Marco Stunt after that? The Marco Stunt. I mean, please, no, don't call. Imagine he was part of the group, dude. Legit, like her business. Right. You got them three, bang, Marco. And he's wearing gold chains, glasses.
All the hurt is on this kid every time he gets thrown around. Yep.
Damn, bro. Damn. But anyway, look, it was a good way to end it. It's funny because while watching it and then talking about it after the fact, I kind of enjoyed this show, right? But then I still laugh at it now that we're talking about it because it's like there's a lot of bullshit. But nevertheless, put a lot of the bullshit aside, the show had a decent flow for me, and I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean they did stuff, so it
I
didn't
actually thought
hurt
this
to
show was
watch.
better.
But
No,
then
this was one of
again,
the better shows in the last few weeks. Put it that way, for me, anyway.
yeah.
But then again, right? Exactly.
Well, what
We move
about
on to
Rampage?
do we?
Because we have Rampage. I'm a
And
guess. You
we
missed
got
it.
a new star of Friday and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Dude, I told you, you're the designated Rampage guy from now on, because generally I should watch it, but it's just getting trashier and trashier to me and less meaningless.
How would you know? How would you know?
Well, you got Commander, who's the star of this show, and the next show it seems afterwards, and we'll get to that when we do.
Well,
but
you'll understand once I lay it all out how Commander took command of the weekend.
He was the commander of the weekend, 100%.
But we're not there yet. First, we're starting out with LFI versus the Fat Guys and the Butcher.
Who's the Fat Guys and the Butcher?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, Jimmy.
I know who you're talking about now.
It was Beef, and it was JD Drake. You know, just the kind of guys that you just really want to see on television.
Well, I'm glad I didn't watch this shit.
Somebody to make the Butcher look in shape, you know?
Good point. It's actually a great point.
Yeah, the Butcher looked like Ravishing Rick Rude in there next to Beef and JD Drake.
Wow.
So
Ravishing Rick Rude. And the match was a match good.
That match goes exactly the way you'd think it was.
Oh,
but next we get a sort of a promo from Stokely Hathaway. And he's basically taking credit for pushing Private Party to finally become champions, because he was offering them, if you remember, he was offering them his services, but even though they didn't take it, he still is saying that because of him and his pushing and his encouraging, they were able to finally reach the mountaintop. And he calls himself the Architect of Champions. So,
God, please.
So there's that. Damn. And then we get Taya Valkyrie with Deonna Purrazzo in a match against Zoe Lynn, who I was interested to find out that even after switching phones, my predictive text, when I type in Zoe, it predicted Lynn, so she's been on before. Apparently, really? I've typed it enough times that my phone remembers what to put next. Wow. But anyway, good old Zoe Lynn does not last long. And then afterwards, after she's beaten in one of Taya's few wins on television in the past 3 years, they go backstage, and Stokely is there, and he starts talking a bunch of shit, and he's like, you know, if I was you guys' manager, I would tell you to go back out there and beat her up some more. So then Taya looks at him, and then she goes out there, and sure enough, she does go out and beat up Zoe Lynn some more.
Yes.
So Stokely's doing something.
So can I? Is it safe to say that Purrazzo and Valkyrie are now the queens of Rampage? Are they only on Rampage these days?
Well, they're kind of on Rampage, and sometimes they're.
It feels like it. I don't see them on the other two.
Yeah, well, they can't just be the queens of Rampage, because after we get a package for Rosa and Harley and their match coming up on Collision, next we get Queen Aminata, so she's probably the queen. You know, you can't just have a bunch of queens around. There can only be one queen. That's true. And she's taking on Top Flight's Layla Gray, so got a couple of nice young ladies in a athletic contest.
Absolutely. Yep. This should have been a good match, actually, Vet. As a matter of fact, did it live up to it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, but she did put. But the queen did win by putting It was some weird hold. I don't know. It kind of looked like an octopus, but it looked even more like painful and weird, and there was more limbs. So let's call it a squid. She beat her with the squid hold.
That's squid. Not a python hold.
No, I'll say it's a squid. 10 arms instead of the usual 8. Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. The squid. I like it. Cool.
Okay. Next match. Top Action versus Dark Order in a trios. Now, what have we seen these guys doing the past couple of weeks?
The same shit.
No, what have we seen them doing? Top Flight.
Or Moxley and shit.
Yes.
The stuff.
They've been teaming up to fight against Moxley and them.
But now
they're in a random trios match against each other. Now, anybody can feel free to correct me because, God, I only kind of watch some of these shows and, some of it's at double speed, even though I can still hear the audio. But did I miss anything where this match even got set up? Like, was there an argument between them and one of the other segs that allowed them to, put this match together or something, or why this match existed or made sense?
Did they shake hands or hug before the match?
Not before.
Okay, all right. Well, then this bullshit, this stupid, again, no logic whatsoever. We're going to pretend
I'm giving anybody the chance, maybe one of the statisticians like Zane Vicious who accuses me of not watching the shows, maybe he can tell me in his infinite wisdom whether I just missed something that they were supposed to show us. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's really up to Tony to book the matches. So if this is a match he wanted to see, I guess it doesn't matter if the company's in trouble. So they do this spot where they're trying to get Action Andretti. If you remember, now I do remember this.
Mr. Shitty.
So if you remember how Action Andretti was the one that was like, why are you guys okay with losing all the time? You remember that? Right. That little gimmick where he's like trying to fire up at him.
Tell he fires up.
Yeah. So in this one, what happens is he took Alex Reynolds, this is right at the finish. He grabbed Alex Reynolds by the neck and the trunks, and he slid him under the ropes into the ring post. So he hits the ring post with his ribs. Then he pulls him out, jumps up, does the split-legged moonsault, and beats him. Wow. So we're seeing a vicious side of Action Andretti.
Wow. Vicious. Let's hope we don't get a delicious also with Action Andretti. But anyway, that's another whole different thing. Well, Zane claims, do you remember during the invasion angle? Are you talking about back in WWF days? Please elaborate a little more, Zane. Right, 2001, exactly.
Is this that long-term of a storytelling? We're doing a callback to...
You can't say shittier, Zane. There's no logic, please.
I just wanted to know if I missed a promo somewhere along the way. Maybe they did one on social media. Perhaps they did a TikTok or something that I didn't catch. Whatever.
Maybe a MySpace thing they did.
But even if they did do a MySpace, maybe like many other things on these shows, they show you a clip of it right before the match to refresh you in case you missed it, because they do that a lot.
Right.
Anyway.
That's true.
So afterwards they do shake hands. It's a little contentious, because Dark Order's sore losers, but they're like, yeah, I guess we're still friends. I guess. And then they're on their way back. Top Flight and Action Andretti are on their way up the ramp, but Leo Rush is coming out, so they pass each other. They give each other the fist bumps and everything. It's time for the main event, which is Leo Rush versus Commander.
Commander Pants.
Commander Pants.
That's what goes through my mind when I see him.
Or if I'm being completely honest, if it's between him and Io Del Vikingo, aka Commander, aka the Money. Because compared to Vikingo, I'd go with this guy, actually, to be honest. Wow. Sorry, Mega Champion. And you'll never guess what, Jimmy, as you're falling the fuck asleep right here live on the air. Guess what? This should wake you up. Commander finally hits that tightrope moonsault thing he always goes for. And not the moonsault, but the shooting star press, where he runs on the rope and does the shooting star press on the guy that's right next to the rope. He hits it on Leo Rush and he actually pins him with it. 1, 2, 3. Impressive. He beat a guy with that move that he misses 65% of the time.
He also hit it on Collision, but didn't win it with it. But anyway,
yeah, he didn't win it. That was all. Right. He got you see, Jimmy, what they did. They got the strong win here, right? A strong win for Commander, and then that sets up the false finish. We've seen him win with this move, and now you use it as a false finish in his next match. You see the psychology of that? That's actually, guys, that's actually correct psychology. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of Lio Rush, who's much better than Commander, and is constantly being put in these positions like another guy that we'll talk about on Collision. But yes, that was actually not bad booking to do that, but I'm just saying.
And plus, no one really pays attention to Rampage these days to even know that shit went down onto Collision. And they don't even really explain themselves properly on Collision sometimes on what happened on Rampage. They do occasionally, but sometimes they don't even mention it. It's just like, who cares? You know what I mean?
Well, if I'm assuming that you're totally right, but if I'm assuming that Commander has the same agent for this match and the next match that he has, then I want to at least give kudos to that producer, agent, whoever that was, because he probably had the idea of setting up the false finish of the top rope, shooting star and stuff. So good job, even though, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, like I get that. But just because nobody's watching you do something right doesn't mean that it was bad of you to do something right. So I got to give them some credit somewhere, and this is it.
No, cool. Good for him. He gets a rare win.
Super rare. This is ultra rare win. Yeah,
absolutely rare.
You could open a bunch of packs of Commander matches, and you may never find this win.
Definitely not. You definitely won't find it. I mean, I look cool, but the thing about Rampage for me, before we get into Collision, this was the main event, right? You just said
that was the end of the show. A happy win for Commander.
Wow. I just feel like this show has got no identity anymore, right? And either you're going to dump this shit or at least give it something. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be, wasn't the catchphrase the best and quickest 1 hour wrestling show on the planet?
Maybe.
Now it feels like a drag. I'm pretty sure that it was something along those lines anyway, right? But instead, like you said, you talking about it just wants me to go to sleep. That's how I feel about Rampage. If I watched Rampage, I probably would have fallen asleep, you see? And Collision is the show that kind of does that for me, generally, at times. But at least with Collision, you got some shit going on from Wednesday, if you know what I mean, moving on to Saturday. Whereas, Rampage is in sort of like a purgatory spot. It's like, it just doesn't really matter, you know what I mean?
Well, I'll give you that, but I'll also give you that if I was to just look at this from a purely a la carte standpoint, and if it is the fastest hour in wrestling or whatever, and if I did watch it, which I did, then I got to see Roosh beat up on fat guys. That's fun. I got to see not one, but two Stokely Hathaway promos. That's good. That's delicious. I got to see Layla Gray in her ring gear.
That's definitely delicious.
Who doesn't want to see that? And we got to see Queen Aminata stretch her in all kinds of weird positions. So that's
even more delicious.
Yeah, we did have to see Top Action versus Dark Order in a trios. Yeah, but I mean, you can't have everything in life. And then, Leo and Commander actually did put on a good match, and it was fine if you enjoyed it. I don't prefer that Lio Rush be the strong win character. I'd rather he be the one getting a strong win at times. But, Commander's been working hard, so I guess it's just his reward for hard work. I mean, in the end, it wasn't that bad to watch, and they use it as a bridge to Collision. So that's the identity of the show. The identity of the show is, hey, here's a warm-up for Collision, but instead of watching it all at once for 3 hours, why don't you just watch a quick hour here, and then that'll get you ready for Saturday night. Does anybody care? No, but I mean, what else are they going to do? It's already on the air. They got to do something. So I don't think that Rampage is failing as bad in terms of like what is actually being put on television, but with all the different times that they've like shuffled it around or moved it just it's hard. People are giving up on it for whatever reason. It wouldn't even matter if it was the best show of the week. No one would just even tune in to watch it.
Is it still getting at least a couple of 100,000 people viewer wise?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So, all right. Well, it's Collision time. We're starting out with a public party for private party.
Oh God, that's what I was gonna say. You took it out of my.
I stole your
Damn
shit.
It.
Okay.
You stole it, but it's so true.
They
That's
let
all
everybody
going
in.
through my
They
mind.
removed the velvet rope and everybody's allowed in.
You can't do that shit. You can't call yourself private party in a private party in a fucking public setting, dude. That was so irking me, man. I'm glad you said it though, straight off the bat, because that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like, what the fuck is this? It's a public party. It's a private party in a public setting, supposedly. Again, logic out the friggin' window once again, and just yeah. Anyway, sorry about that.
Well, could we have had everybody just like all the wrestlers that were out there to celebrate with them? Could they just come in one at a time and like put money in the bouncer's hands, like
that would have been funny. That would have been cool. At least do little things like that would have made things so much better. But they don't. They don't think like that way. Unfortunately,
but anyway, yeah. So Tony Schiavone's out there trying to talk, and people are chanting, "You deserve it."
You deserve what? The belts? They earned it.
Yeah, they deserve the belts. Yeah. Well, Private Party has been there since day one, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm not going to say, as Clint Eastwood said in Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it. But I do. Exactly. I'm happy for them.
So am I. I'm happy for him. Absolutely am.
And then Isaiah says that what's next is, and then the crowd starts chanting shots.
And you know what sucks?
They're like shots, and he's like, that's later. But did you catch this? How's this for a guy that doesn't watch the show? Somebody in the crowd yelled out, "I know you're down, Cash."
What? And well, they seemed like they were down. Did they not?
Well, I think what he's saying is he knows that Cash Cashin is a fan of shots, both the kind that you drink and the kind that you have with a gun, because of
yeah.
That's called wordplay. It's called wordplay. Smart guy from the audience at Collision. There you go. Good job. What?
Did Cash react to it at all?
I didn't see it. I could only hear the guy yelling it because the camera happened to be next to him.
I didn't catch that. Damn it. Damn.
Yeah. I caught the time cues. I caught the guy yelling, heckling Cash Cashin. I got it all. Anyway,
man.
So no. Isaiah says that what's next is we're going to defend against anybody. And then this almost causes a scuffle in the ring because anybody's in the ring. So then the level-headed outrunners, it's up to them to hype everybody up and calm everybody down at the same time. And Truth Magnum had the best lines. He's like, if you're anything like me, and I know I am.
I love these guys, bro. Like I said, man,
they're the best.
The more I see them, the more I fucking adore these guys. I said, man, when I saw you on the Rip show, and I was saying this off the air to you, I'm like, man, I didn't know you were on the friggin' show with one of them, and I'm like,
oh yeah, me and Turbo Floyd, yeah, we go way back, yeah,
I didn't know that, but it doesn't matter if you go way back or not. The point is, you're on the show with him, so. And I was like, hey, and I came across that by total. I was just looking up stuff when it comes to the Outrunners, and you came up, funny enough. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is Vet here, man? So I clicked on it. And yeah, it was that show. So I'm like, oh, damn. I never knew this.
It was like, I think it was on like Wrestling or Rip Rogers Q&A. I think it was either their 1 year anniversary or their 100 show anniversary or whatever, or 50 show, whatever it was. Whatever the anniversary they were celebrating was, and everybody was just like, they would come in, they would get let in, then they'd say a little something, then they'd leave or whatever, and then, I happened to be toward the end, and Turbo Floyd came in, and all that stuff. So,
well, Turbo seems like he makes regular appearances on the show anyway, so particularly Turbo anyway.
Yeah, of course. Well, they're a big part of the show. And speaking of,
and I know he's the Rip guys. God damn it, Zane. Shit.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'll more on that later when we get to the plug. So,
right.
let's see. We have the Glamour and we have Anna Jay are walking. Except Jay is not only walking, but she's talking it. She's cutting a promo right to the camera.
Sure
Are
is.
you convinced?
Not really. What I was looking at, which got my attention, was her "Let's Get Physical" pants. If you know what I'm, if you know what I'm talking about, Olivia Newton-John pants from back in the '80s. You know when they're in the gym and shit, and let's get physical. Did you notice that she was wearing? She was wearing that. What the hell's up with that? Not that I'm complaining, but damn.
That's what she wanted to do. This is the point where they put up that graphic that said, I wrote it down as Mox takes Philly. Is that not what it was?
Oh, yeah, it was takes Philly. Either way, what's he taking?
Look, you what I mean? You can make it about gay sex as much as you want, Jimmy. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but I do think you're reading into it a little bit. So
I'm not going to act like JR Gross. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Renee is with the Acclaimed, and these guys go off on like a variety of subjects that I'm not gonna lie, I tuned out. I think he said something about how much money he had and some other crap. I don't remember.
And did you notice something? They were in black this time, not pink.
Ooh, dark. Acclaimed.
No, but I can understand they're dark. Oh, what do they call dark acclaimed? The Acclaimed of darkness. I don't know, but I can understand why they're in black, because they're probably thinking every motherfucker's wearing pink now, if you haven't noticed. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are wearing pink now, and they're probably like, fuck that. Let's go all black since everyone's wearing pink. So I don't blame them for doing that.
They're more excited to see the Outrunners, so...
Hey, the Outrunners have claimed it now. That's it. That's theirs. Like,
they took pink away from the Acclaimed.
They really did. And I don't blame them, dude. I mean, I told you, they're the most exciting tag team for me right now in pro wrestling, bro. Where I actually sit there and be like, yeah, man, I look forward to anything they do. But can I ask you about them? Is one of them way older than the other dude? Because Juice Magnum, like 100%, is the older one, I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but he looks a lot older, though, compared to Floyd.
I'll put it this way. When I was at OVW, Truth Magnum was there. Like, he was, I don't know what you want to call, like, he came after me, but I was still there. Cool. And then I left, and I never saw Turbo Floyd. So he came after I left completely.
He must have come
I don't know him at all.
Right.
Not much later. It could have been like the day after I left, for all I know. I just know he wasn't there when I left. So
interesting.
But maybe he could be a little younger. I'm not sure. They're both the youngest men alive, though, so it's irrelevant anyway. Like, I don't even know why we're talking about this, but
that's true. What are we saying? Forget it. Forget we even said that. But anyway, yeah, I find that interesting a little bit.
Let's talk about another couple young men, Thunder Harley and Thunder Rosa. It's time for the Dia de los Muertos match.
Why? But I hated this match.
Because it's 2 days after Halloween, Jimmy. Why not? Oops.
Fucking hell, man. I'll never get it. I'll never get it, dude. I don't get it, bro.
Now here's where someone could jump in and correct me and say, well, actually, Vet, they celebrate on November the 2nd of that's the Dia Post de la Muerte, where they do the cleanup of all the decorations in the village. I don't know.
You know what? Zany's that guy. He did that to me saying,
yeah, I'm just waiting.
It's November now. It's November. Right.
I'm
like, thanks, Zane. Just quietly.
Yeah. Jeez. Look, I'm not going to talk about how rotten this was, but I will point out that I guess even headshots with a piñata are not allowed in pro wrestling now.
What the hell was that?
She was like taking the piñata, and like Rosa's right there, and Harley is like swinging it sideways and like hitting her in the hip and the elbow, or or something. So
it was dumb, bro. That was so dumb. And wasn't that the finish pretty much?
No, the finish was she set up a table and she put a trash can on Harley and sat her in the corner. And then she put a table in the ring and set it up like a ramp. And she ran up the table like a ramp and then jumped and drop kicked her in the trash can for the win.
I tuned out by that. After the Pinata incident, I definitely tuned out, bro. Like with this match. I don't know what they're doing with Thunder Rosa. I hope now, obviously, this feud will be done and dusted. But does Rosa have any sort of future in this company at this point? Is she damaged goods? I feel like
what are you talking about? She just got a strong win right here in her own match.
Sorry. You're right. Strong
She's
win.
got
Very
all the
strong.
momentum in the world.
Of course she does. But serious
and
question.
It certainly was, as Labrat says, it was celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. That's 2 days.
Wow.
Dos dias.
Or 2 days.
Yeah.
In Spanish. And
Dias de los Muertes. Yeah.
I never
it can't just be contained on a single day.
Right, exactly. So revamp, don't put words. I never said it was on Halloween. That wasn't what I was talking about, by the way. The Dia de los Muertos, the way you said it, is not on Halloween, Jimmy. I know. That wasn't my thing. But anyway, thank you though.
Yeah. So anyway, yes. Now obviously this is all in good fun. I'm not trying to disparage anybody's culture. It was actually kind of cool the way all the, especially Rosa's entrance and all the stuff that happened. And they had these funny decorations, like these little tombstones and stuff that she used to beat up Harley with. And
did you see what it said on the tombstones half the time?
I did, but I forgot it now.
One was rest in peace, Stokely.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Don't ask why. One, I didn't even understand what that meant. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking. Maybe it's a sign for the future of future burials. If you get my drift.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right. Wink, wink.
So, yeah, my main issue with it was like, damn it, again, this is another match where Harley's like going toe to toe with a person, but
it was a long match. It felt long, dude. What it did? It felt,
and it wasn't good, especially at the beginning, like when they were actually trying to do stuff before they started getting into objects, which it usually goes the other way around. Usually, when wrestlers have a match that's like this, they start out wrestling and that's okay. And then it starts getting stupider the more furniture they involve. But
it was a mess, literally.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Lexi's with the, what are they called? The Undisputed Kingdom. And they get interrupted by Cage and Archer, the new cool tag team on the block.
Can I ask, aren't they part of the Callis family now?
No.
Is that correct?
Wait. Yes. Wait.
I have not seen Callis with these guys. I'm pretty sure they done a trade with Jake the Snake for LFI, which I didn't know was part of the Callis family still. And
Roosh almost was once.
Right. Well, yeah, almost and is two different things, but nevertheless, we had a trade, and now I'm pretty sure Lance Archer and Mr. Cage.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Don should have been here.
But he's never with them since the first day. That was it. They don't even acknowledge these guys, dude.
Well, neither are we. Because the next match is Commander coming high off of his strong win against Kyle Fletcher, who is nothing like Will Ospreay. He's nothing like Will Ospreay. You know how he's going to separate himself from Will Ospreay now?
Hell.
He's Jimmy. He's changed his ring gear. He's now wearing the diaper.
He is, which is weird. I wonder
classic diaper. Yep.
The classic diaper, man. For anyone that doesn't understand the joke, yeah, we're talking about traditional wrestling tights. Okay, just quietly.
They're trunks, right?
Right.
But they're long enough that you pull them up over your fat lower stomach.
Yeah. Right. That's the diaper part.
Like a guy like Randy Orton, like Fat Randy, right? He lets it all hang out. You saw a crown jewel at, he looks fat for Randy Orton. and Kevin Owens looks thin for Kevin Owens, so they've kind of like switched places there. But Randy's got those cut trunks, right? That he doesn't pull up over his stomach. But Kyle Fletcher is just a little bit of skinny fat right now, because he's clearly off the gas now, and he's a little flabby, so he got the diaper cut. And that's just not a good look in 2024 anymore. I mean, I understand why guys like Beef and JD Drake having it, even though we can clearly see what's going on. They're not hiding anything.
Hey, but at least they got no shame, right? I mean, think about it. At least they got the balls to be like that. But in saying that, it's not a good look. And you're right. It does look like he's off the gas, and I wonder why. Actually. And if you're going to go this look, you might as well hit the gas.
I mean, he clearly was on it.
That's weird.
He's just not on it now. I don't know why, but whatever.
Right.
So, maybe because he's nothing like Will Ospreay. I got it. I got to get off the gas. Because Will Ospreay's on it. So he's okay. I got Imagine you now. That, see, now it makes sense.
Total.
Diaper, clean, bald. Speaking of diaper,
he's cleansed. Yeah.
Speaking of diaper, guys, did you guys know this? I'm surprised this wasn't a new news item. Did you see that they found some footage from 1908 of George Hackenschmidt?
I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's like a 23-minute video that people have like found and have been like sharing around online. So
how did they find it though? If it was never discovered previously, like how do you find that shit?
I don't know. I guess it was just in somebody's house or something. I don't know. How the hell would I know? 1908.
I didn't even know that shit existed. How did they record that shit?
They barely had movies back then, you know?
What movies? Was there even movies yet? I don't think there was.
Yeah, well, yeah, like film existed, but it's not like it is even like maybe 10 years later after 1908.
Well, really, the 50s was the boom period, wasn't it? In terms of television and movies and stuff, right?
No, it was before that.
40s, maybe 30s. Actually, the 30s was maybe.
They've been making movies since the 1900s, but I just find it interesting and convenient that this footage was found, and it looks pretty decent for what you'd expect for 1908. But anyway, guys, just Google George Hackenschmidt and whatever and news. Like hit the news tab on your Google and it'll bring you up to it. You even if it isn't real, it's still pretty cool.
You never know. It might not be real, as a matter of fact, man. Actually, you're probably right. It could be AI, dude. That's what's fucked up. You don't know. But there was footage even speaking of those days, but not really that back. The precursor to the Flippy era. Have you seen those videos? Where they're jumping off these platforms. I can't find it anymore. I've wanted to find it, but no shit. These guys will jump off. Think of them as jumping off diving boards, right? But they all sit outside the ring, and these guys will do amazing shit for that time. I'm like, damn, that's way ahead of its time at that time. But I cannot find the video anymore. It came up on social media once a couple of years ago, and I so want to find it again because it just looks ridiculous the way they're just all running around and boing. They were getting high though, bro. Really high. Like it was crazy.
Well, that's a good transition back to the match. Commander versus Kyle Fletcher.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, these guys, I guess the announcers put it best. I believe Nigel put it best when he said that Fletcher was looking to make a statement, but he got a fight instead. So,
unnecessary too.
Yeah, It was a good match for what it was, but
it actually was decent, but it went for ages, bro. Again,
right. Well, I would have rather had this be the main event. I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially considering what we ended up getting. But
it was probably the match of the night too. Actually, Vet, for sure.
Oh, well, easily because there was no other matches really, and you'll see what I mean as I go through this. Yeah. Anyway, he hits his fucking move I'm just gonna call it the decapitation because that's what it looks like it's gonna be. And then Mark Davis comes out because Kyle's gonna beat him up some more because that's all anybody can do. It's either I'm gonna interrupt your promo while you're doing it backstage, or you're gonna beat up your opponent after the match and I'm gonna run out and save you. So it's one of those two, and Mark Davis chose the second one. So he's out there, but Kyle doesn't attack him or anything. He just walks away. Because remember, he's still got to decide, is he going to be in the family or not?
And I've got a feeling he's actually going to join Kyle, dude, in the family eventually. He's going to turn on.
He should. Because if he doesn't, who's he going to go with?
There'll be nothing for him. That's what I mean. And I feel bad for him.
Will Ospreay ain't even the United Empire anymore, really, technically. I mean, technically, he might still be in it in name, but it's not like they're going to come over and help. And if they do, then we're going to have to hear everybody on social media be like, who are these guys? I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who the Great Okan is.
I guarantee you most of them don't know who the Great Okan is. 100%.
All right. So here's that thing where Daniel Garcia takes a different approach to Lil Brooks. They're in the back in a red TNA lighting backstage area.
What was up with the redness though, man? What were they doing? Were they developing photos maybe? Because they do that still?
Maybe.
They don't have like mobile phones anymore. They don't have any cell phones with digital cameras. Doesn't exist yet.
No, man, this kid's a throwback to an old generation.
Oh, you're right, because he did say he was a Nepo kid practically.
Mm-hmm.
Without saying Nepo kid, if you know what I mean. I mean, and why was
he's a Nepo kid for the wrong business. His dad wasn't a wrestler.
Well, that was Garcia was practically saying that without actually saying those words, but alluding to, I had to fight my way into this business. Unlike you fucking didn't have to do shit pretty much. So, yeah, please continue.
All right, well, let's go through this quickly. Cage and Archer versus Sean Smith and Joe Keys.
Joe Keys. Is that like a little joke? I
think this guy's been in Ring of Honor a long time.
Really? Okay. All right. I don't know who Joe Keys is, but as long as he doesn't lose his keys, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, I don't know if he was going to lose them, but Cage and Archer were beating him up after the match, and then the Undisputed Kingdom hits the ring to prevent a further beating. So this is the second time in a row we've got that. First Mark Davis, now this. Then we see Shane Taylor warming up. And then Lexi's with AR Fox. AR Fox, who is never around, but he gets 2 words out before Nick Wayne, Kip, and his mom interrupt. Not Kip's mom, Nick's mom. They all interrupt, and Nick Wayne cuts a promo. That's a great idea. Better than AR Fox, I guess. Then Chris Statlander cuts a promo. That could be the worst of all. Then Jon Moxley comes out and cuts a live promo to Orange, and he says that Wheeler Yuta is a Philly hero. Orange, not a Philly hero. Yuta's a Philly hero. And all this talk about Philly heroes is making me hungry. And then Action Andretti hits the ring, and he's like, I'm a better Philly rep than anybody. And then Pac jumps him from behind. And then Bryce Remsburg rings a bell. And then we get Action versus Pac, so it's action-packed. And then
action-packed. Whoa, yeah. I like it. Action-packed.
And then Pac puts him in that bastard lock thing that he does. I forget the name of it.
But properly though this time he actually
So he's choking him. He's like, no plastic bag necessary. I'll choke him to death with my hands. And then Orange Cassidy cuts a promo to interrupt this. And then Jon Moxley sends Wheeler Yuta after Orange. And then Wheeler Yuta hesitates to hit Orange with the chair. And then Orange takes the chair from Wheeler Yuta. And then Yuta gets Orange punched from Orange. And yeah.
You know what was even more dumb about this? Moxley and Orange want to get their hands on each other, right? But when Moxley started running towards Orange, he ran off like a bitch. He was like, fuck this. But with you, that's all good. I'll put my hands in my pocket. Go hit me with a chair. Do it. I've got my hands in my pockets. You know what I mean? It's just the logic is a bit stupid. But also, tell me if I'm wrong here, but there was something off about these guys. I'm not talking about Orange. I'm talking about the owners, the ownership, whatever you want to call them. Did you notice Marina Shafir looked like she was almost crying, like when they first came out, and her makeup was a little off? Like she looked. I don't know if she got an earful right before that segment, but her bottom jaw was even quivering a little bit. It was weird. I'm like, what's wrong with her? Why is she acting weird? Do you know what I mean? So, that's just something that really stood out for me. For whatever, go back and see what I mean. You'll notice, like, did she ever wear like makeup, like eye makeup?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about when I say eye makeup, I'm not talking about like what chicks wear. I mean like a tattoo, like draw a tattoo fucking on her face, for example.
Well, she was doing that like the Ronda Rousey look. You
Right.
know, when Ronda started putting that.
That's fine. That's yeah. I wasn't talking about that, but there was like it looked like she had a tear coming down. Put it that way, like she cried, and it was left there.
Maybe this is another one of these Moxley movie references or something. I don't know.
Because
I didn't really
get it.
I really wasn't watching what they were doing. I was kind of just listening.
Oh, well, for me, it kind of stood out. I don't know why, but it did. And then she was fine. Once all the shenanigans were happening in the ring, she was all good. But before that, she looked like she was crying for whatever reason. Don't know what was up with that.
Well, maybe she was thinking about how Malachi is going to have a match with Adam Cole and that she might have to watch it. Maybe she was thinking that. And she started to cry. Because that's what Malachi did. He cut a promo about it or on this vignette. So maybe maybe she saw that and was like, I don't want to see Adam Cole anymore. I'm bigger than him. I'm more jacked than him.
Well, she is. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. I was hoping she was going to go and kick the fuck out of Orange. I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, we didn't get that.
Okay. Well, Lexi is with Fletcher and Takeshita. And Fletcher wants to have a tag match against... Well, Takeshita wants to have a tag match against Ricochet. And Kyle Fletcher's like, you can bring whoever. I don't care. He literally said he didn't care and walked off. Then we get Leo Rush versus Sean Daivari.
Wow.
Or no. Yeah, was it Sean?
Yes, you're right. It was. It was Ari
He's the younger one?
Ari Daivari.
Arya Daivari, yeah.
Yeah. Not Sean
Daivari. Not his older brother, the agent in WWE, trying to get Kevin Owens and Randy Orton not to kill each other.
Exactly.
Because they're both fat. One. Yeah, not him.
Yeah. Arya Daivari, right.
Arya Daivari. Leo Rush hits the frog splash on Arya Daivari for a strong win.
Wow, I was shocked. Well, yeah.
Well, it's not that strong of a win, but I don't know.
Well, it wasn't, but still, it shocked me because I didn't expect it. I was like, wow, he won clean too. Like,
well, you knew once Daivari was in the ring with the no entrance.
True, that should have been a red flag right there. I didn't think about that, but you're right.
Because normally the premier athletes all come out together doing a promo down the ramp before they lose.
That's true, 100%. No, definitely, that was the sign right there. Where was friggin' his partner at?
I don't know, but Lexi was with MXM Collection backstage and
love the segment, bro. Loved it.
Johnny TV.
Mr. Television, no less.
That's right. So Johnny TV is like, hey, if you guys ever want to do a collab.
What did you say? I'll be sliding on through. Oh, no,
sliding in your DMs. Or you can slide into my DMs or whatever. Something about sliding into DMs.
And then he slid out. How did they do that? Did they drag him out? What did they do? That was cool, though. It looks funny.
Yeah. It just buried in the show, and maybe no one will ever find it but us. So,
which is a shame.
That's why we're here to tell you.
Right, and then MXM went down the elevator.
Yeah, they did the elevator thing.
Oh, that was brilliant. Loved it. I love this. I know. I'm a cheesy fuck liking MXM, but no shit. Every time I see these guys, they cack me up, dude. I'm still waiting for the Fashion Police. I know we're not going to get it, but we need them in this whole sort of universe. In AEW, because it'd be funny as hell for me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, happy birthday! I just reminded. Happy birthday to Godzilla.
The Godzilla.
Yeah.
or a different Godzilla.
No, the giant atomic dinosaur Godzilla.
How old did he turn? 50.
70.
That makes sense. It was the 50s when it came out, right?
November 3rd, 1954 was the original movie release, Gojira.
Holy shit, man. Wow,
so everybody go wish Godzilla a happy birthday. He's played babyface and heel better than any pro wrestler. Let's put it that way.
Arigato to Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's how the Japanese would say it. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of giant monsters, Roderick Strong is taking on Shane Taylor. I'll let you guess which one's the giant monster.
Fucking hell, bro. Again.
I didn't know this, but apparently the infantry is with Shane Taylor Promotions now. I guess I gotta not fast forward Ring of Honor as hard because they probably mentioned something about this, and since I'm only looking for Athena matches, I must have missed it. But they were out there.
That's true, and I was wondering why they were out there and when did this happen. Like I said, I haven't watched Ring of Honor since its inception of the Tony Khan era one. I'm confused again. Like, they don't really tell you. They should at least fill everybody in, why they're there and whatnot. But again, unfortunately, Shane motherfucking Taylor, bro. I mean, he looks good in this match. Looks great, but we got the same old shit, bro. I was hoping after the Fly got a win, he would get a friggin', some sort of win, but no. He's not neck strong enough. Unfortunately for all of us.
He beats Shane Taylor. Look, they had a good match. You knew that they was going to be good, and you knew that Strong was going to win because he needs a strong win. It's literally a strong win. Because he's got to win 3 matches just like Adam Cole does. So, of course he's going to beat Shane Taylor. I just think you could find a better, just like with Lio Rush, you could find a better use of Shane Taylor. Can he just not be the guy that everybody goes over on? Can he just be a guy that's got his own little angle off to the side? I guess we'll never see that, but we might see Mina Shirakawa because Mina is coming, Jimmy.
Does it look like I give a fuck?
It actually doesn't. It looks like you're not conscious. So I guess we should just wrap up with our main event, which is Mariah May versus Anna Jay. Now, Jimmy still hates Mariah May. He hates her with a passion, even though he was on here telling us all, bro, you guys got to see Mariah May. She's really good, yada, yada. She's my favorite wrestler of all time. She's replaced Kenny Omega. She's going to change the game. And then immediately into her title win, he's like, I'm done with her. What does she even do? Can she just slag off or whatever other terms?
Did I say that? Did I say slag off? Damn.
No, I'm just making
if I called her a slag, that's a bit harsh. But to be fair, I'm going to say this again. I feel like since her championship run, and it's not necessarily her fault, really. I'm going to blame the booking committee or whoever the fuck it is. Look at her, man. She's champion, but again, she doesn't feel like the champ, like the focal point of the women's division, which she's not. It's clearly, Money that's the focal point, right? And I feel like they've gone backwards with that championship, man. And her being champion, there's no spotlight on her, dude. Does it feel like they're giving her any sort of spotlight for anyone to care about it being champ?
No,
she's not even utilized on the A show, bro. She's on
she was the last match of the week, so she's the main event of the whole week. If you want to look at it that way,
if you want to look at it like that, cool. But it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's true, man. And I like her. She's hot. She's gorgeous. Whatever. And she's trying, and she's pretty violent too for what for who she is. But.
She did have to be in there with Anna Jay, though. That was the rough part.
I get that. I understand that. And she's way better than Anna Jay. Let's be real. I mean, at least Anna Jay, wasn't it on the promo right before the match, she was saying how she was really green and all this bullshit. And but now she's come back from Japan and she's so much better. She's not green anymore. But she really improved, though. She's improved.
Not enough.
At times she looks like she has, but not enough. Right. Exactly.
You know how when like good athletes or whatever, when people say they make it look effortless, right?
Right.
When they talk about the greats of all time, the Michael Jordans and all this whatever, they'll say like, they make it look effortless. They make it look easy. They make it look like anyone can do it, because they're so good and they're playing against the best of the best and they They make it look like that. And you heard that about wrestlers too. He makes it look effortless. Well, Anna Jay's the opposite of that. She makes it look like the simplest things are the most complicated things in the world. She's so slow. She's so slow. Her face never matches what she's doing. Like, she's not reacting. She's playing out the match like at the speed that if I was running through something in practice, I would do it. And that's how she does it in the full match. Some people, I don't know if she can, again, this is the same thing about Camille. Like, I don't know if they can get it at this point because it's been long enough.
It's been way too long, man. And you know what?
I think they're gonna get injured out of the business before they ever pick it up.
Really? You think they'll injure themselves out of the business?
It's not that I think they're gonna get injured. I just think it'd be more likely that their bodies will break down over time long before they will ever actually, the light bulb goes off and they get it. Because the mental aspect is one of the last things that you get. Usually going through the physical motions and stuff, you practice that enough and then that you get that down. Then you learn about the psychology and the character and all that stuff and how to put it together later. Mm-hmm. But all these years in and the motor skills aren't even there yet. She's just not, it's just not there. So it's not, she's struggling with it. She's having a hard time. She's having a hard time learning. I don't know what it would take.
Maybe it's not. Is she getting false treated bullshit? Like, in other words, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. You're great. Don't worry about it. Maybe. You're this and that, but really, they're feeding her false information. And in her mind, she's probably thinking, and she did say this actually in the promo, I'm not green anymore. I'm not as green anymore. I'm so much better. I'm this, I'm that. But really, she's not. You know what I mean? I feel like she's getting fed a whole lot of bullshit. And it's just, making her think that she is great and she is good. I'm sure Jungle Boy would be peppering her up, right? And saying all that bullshit. I mean, come on. If you want to get laid,
she certainly won't be able to learn anything from that dude.
Anyway, what would he be teaching her? Can you imagine promo class with them two? But he's trying to teach her promos? Oof.
I mean, she's got bigger arms than him. So I don't know.
That's actually true. She might even be taller, actually.
Yeah. But that's beside the point. But the point is, look, she tried. She didn't win this match. Mariah May beat her with some weird. Actually, I found this weird because Anna had the sleeper hold on, which is that's her deadly move, and they almost did the Bret Hart finish where Mariah May rolls back on her and pins her, but they use that as a false finish. And then they get up, and then she just puts this other weird pin on her and beats her. Mariah May does. So I was like, well, that's a little anticlimactic, but whatever.
Hold on a minute. See, at this point, I was setting up for our show right now. And I'm,
you just assumed that was the end of the match then.
No, because I heard the commentators mention that. How, the Bret Hart finish, right? I heard him mention that. And then the bell went, and that made it seem like that was the finish. You know what I mean? So obviously it wasn't. So there was another weird spot right after that.
Yeah, they put a hat on a hat, and then that was the finish. And then Mariah May just walks up the ramp, just walks out, walks up the ramp, and is like, you didn't win, MJ, whatever. Okay, and then that's it. The end of the show.
There was a couple of mess ups on this show, and I forgot to mention it earlier. Did you catch earlier? Oh, what match was it? Oh, yeah, it was the Shane Taylor match. When the 1, 2, 3 happened, did you notice the ref didn't count all the way to 3 and then quickly counted the 3 after? So he goes 1, 2, stops, and then quickly went 3 again. And everyone's looking at each other like, what the fuck? What was that? Like, he just glitched for a second.
Yeah, Shane Taylor, he didn't,
Weird, dude. So there was a couple of weird, moments here on Collision.
Well, at least he didn't put Shane Taylor's shoulder on the mat for him.
Oh, God. At least bad was that, bro? Man, yeah. And look, from now on, the refs shouldn't even stress. It should be universal. If these idiots don't put their shoulder up, and that's their problem, count the fucking 3. Even if it means they lose a championship, again, not your problem. They're the idiots. But unfortunately, they'll probably get heat.
Whatever. I mean, they're just going to do whatever they want anyway, so if you end up losing a championship because you don't kick out, then they'll just put it back on you next time.
See, that's what I mean. It doesn't make sense, dude. That's not how you do things, but
Like Phoenix and John Moxley.
I remember that. That was bad. I know. To the credit though, Moxley was knocked out, so like he knew what was going on. But still, nevertheless,
well, he knew enough to change the finish on his own, apparently, despite what the booking was. So anyway, yeah, that was your week of AEW.
Yeah, splendid. Splendid. I like it.
And I would like to point out we didn't really talk about it.
What?
But during the Young Bucks and Private Party match, Okada came out and tombstoned Mark Quinn on the
with that
top
smile.
of the ramp. So there was an Okada sighting. So he was there, but
he had the most cheekiest. He had the cheekiest grin on his face as he did it, and then walks off straight in the back. Yeah, that was weird though. Why did he just come out and do that? Walks off. You don't even see him.
Imagine the plane ride over.
Yeah. Yeah, but did you see him? He didn't leave with the Bucks though, but he was in the room, in the dressing room with the Bucks, packing all these Reebok pump shoes, all the Bucks pump shoes, and then you never saw him. Like, what does this mean? What's going on? I know the Bucks are probably going to take time off now, but yeah, you know what? We'll forget it. It's not going to mean anything because they're not going to tell us. There won't be a conclusion to this, so forget about it. Yeah, exactly.
Time to wrap it up.
We're wrapping it up. Does that mean we're done? We're done. So, Vid, in saying that, tell them where they can find you, man.
Well, you can find me at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can find me everywhere at HMG, such as the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern with Big Ray Hernandez, except this week where it'll be, I guess, Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern because NXT's on a Wednesday. So NXT on a Wednesday, head-to-head with Dynamite, live on Dynamite. Yep. See
what is that?
And by the way, as everyone is constantly talking about ratings still, I guess people still want to talk about ratings and care about ratings. I think it's only fair to point out that while Dynamite is slowly bleeding ratings, and now they're in the 620s or 630s and such, and now NXT on the CW has now dipped under 6 and they're in the 580s, and yes, after that strong 800 something thousand start for the first 2 weeks, and now they dropped down to 6, and then now they're dropped under 6. So they are doing very poorly in terms of the descent.
Yeah. So, and on broadcast television too. That's even worse than what AEW's going.
Yeah. Another Wednesday Night War. We'll really see what's what here. But anyway, so Next Level Wrestling Review moved one day forward to Thursday, so check that out. And of course, if you like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, you'll already know all these things because you'll be notified as soon as we go live. So if you forget on Wednesday morning, you'll be reminded on Thursday morning. And check out tomorrow night. You can catch me on the Impact Attack with Brandon. We do that every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You can also check out, you can catch me on Wrestling with Rip Rogers. That's right. You can catch me on Wrestling with Rip Rogers in the week of, this will be November 8th. You'll be able to find me on there. I will be filling in or helping out Von Lilas with his hosting duties. So it's going to be me and Rip reunited once again, and we'll answer all your questions that you have. So please come and see us there. And then I'll be there the following week as well, which I'll remind you. So check out Rip Rogers Q&A with me. And that is at the concrete time of, well, actually, since I'm on it, it's got to be a concrete time of 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. So check that out on Friday. And and then of course check out the Stevie Richards show. Lots of stuff going on over at Stevie Richards, all his channels. This most recent thing, he's talking about what it takes to be a wrestling superstar, like if you were to build one from scratch, and so on and so forth. Interesting conversations. So definitely check that out. Check everything else out. That's pretty much it. What do you got, Jimmy?
That's about it. And there's the Impact Attack. I don't even
There
think
it
it was
is.
there, but yeah, there it is. Well, what I've got is Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and that means 9 a.m. Central, I believe. It is like a Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez, where we talk things all WWE Monday Night Raw. That's Tuesday mornings. Also, later on in the week, Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Well, actually, I don't know what time anymore because John hasn't been around the last 2 weeks, but it's all right. I'm there to cover him. But nevertheless, I think we start at 8 a.m. these days, I think, which is very early. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie, but we'll see what happens. But generally, we start at 11 a.m., but now it's gone down to 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether you guys tune in or don't, I don't blame you because it's pretty freaking early. I'm not going to lie. On a weekend, no less. But it is a Smack Attack, and you can catch this week's Smack Attack with myself and Dr. Jeff Littman, where we had the Crown Jewel edition of the Smack Attack, where we obviously review Crown Jewel. I'm pretty sure me and Ray will also be talking Crown Jewel on Tuesday. But after that, right here on the same bat channel and the same bat time, it is that Wreckage with myself and the vet, of course, in exactly 7 days where we cover AEW. So that's that. I don't think I'm doing anything else that I can recall, but I think that's it for now. So in saying that, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. You've been great. Especially today, man, the numbers have been steady all the way through, and we appreciate that. But please, most importantly, share this channel out. I keep saying it, and it keeps going up every time I say it. But man, we got to get to that 1,000 mark. It'll be very much appreciated if you guys share, like, subscribe right here at Hameen Media Group YouTube channel. So keep going till we get to that 1K mark. And yeah, man, that'll be very much appreciated. Also, if you want to follow me, you can on the Twitter at DJ Mass Effects, also at the PWC Network. But like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the realest, but also the best talk in all of pro wrestling. And also HameenMediaGroup.popping.com for all our affiliate shows. And that's a wrap. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the vet, Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching The Wreckage right here on Hameen Media Group and channelattitude.com after the fact. We're out. Peace.